how you feeling right now. Say it how you say it. Show me how I look in your heart. Better look amazing.
It was something to hold on to because it was years ago I got this vision about having a Thanksgiving with all my family. Sorry.
I'm glad we're not wearing headphones.
Yo, he would have been freaking out. That's why I laughed, yo. You know what? This is going to be the first one where I don't do the intro music.
Why?
Because I don't have the headphones on.
You can push the button.
You can't hear it, though.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear it.
You can push the button.
And then I wanted to go through
gratitude.
Yeah, the attitude of gratitude. Like, how does it transition your entire experience? Because I've seen it from both sides. And if there's one thing I would hook into early on in recovery, I knew better was coming. I didn't know why I knew that, but I just knew that I had to just one foot in front of the other with a smile on my face. It was like the contents of my heart.
Are we recording?
Really opened.
Yeah.
We are?
Yeah, we are.
Well, I didn't want
How
to
long
record
ago?
this.
No, that's what I'm saying. We got to do the.
Bro, we're only a minute in.
That's what I'm saying. We got to.
Yeah, I was just listening to Gina get her
But
thoughts
she was
off.
like
Yeah,
going
she
in. I was like,
well, fuck it. Let's
so
go.
like-
Boom. And we're live. Continue your thoughts, man.
Anyway, no, I was just.
now you don't need the headphones.
Well, I got to do the music.
I thought
Yeah.
you already did it.
Right.
No, I didn't do it yet. That's what I was saying.
Do it now. So we don't have
Let's
any more
do
to.
the intro, please.
All right.
Please,
Intro.
God.
Intro right now.
Perfect.
We've been here for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Our
y'all
lighting
rocking with us.
sucks.
The lighting
We're
is
still
great.
using the fucking overhead. We brought our own lights. Took me an hour. It looked like shit.
And this
Got really sweaty,
Man, y'all
too.
know
I
the
was
fucking
sweating my fat
vibes.
ass I was like, God, I see myself the whole time. Like, I'm sweating. I'm putting no fucking lights. How fucking out of shape am I?
Check it. That was the best intro ever.
Yeah.
I'm in a good
Just
mood.
kick the headphones off now.
Well, they're gone now, man. Headphones are out of the fucking way. I can hear.
Yeah.
I can see. And
Less of a distraction, you know?
we're good. Gina, well, let's check it in. What's going on with you, Gina? To my right. Let's start it off.
It's been a really, really good week. Super busy, but I'm just happy. Just really happy.
Good.
Life is good.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
So with
yeah.
you, Justin.
Life has got its ups and downs, but for the most part, I'm here.
New haircut, looking very
Yeah.
spiffy.
Yeah.
We out here. Yeah, even like it's been a roller coaster week, but I'm thankful to be sober. Like,
Yes.
because like if I was drinking during all this, I don't think I would have been able to get through and had the level headedness that I needed to make it.
Mm.
You know, like
Mhm.
or the money. I've been broke as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm broke as fuck anyway, but like
You'd be spending it all in the bar.
yeah. But yeah, it's been super thankful for a lot of things these days.
Hey, attitude of gratitude, man. Good.
Grateful
Yeah.
to be alive.
For sure. Myself, it's been an okay week, and I think I got a little in my feelings on Thanksgiving. Like holidays generally are like, I don't want to say tough, but I end up getting into this space where I kind of sit sad. I think my heart kind of hurts for my kids at times, right? And that's simply because it's so different than how I remember growing up around Thanksgiving, like gathering at my grandma's house, aunts, uncles, cousins, just so much fun. And it's like, here we don't have it, you know? So, which was kind of funny now. but-
Discuss the breakdown
up?
because you definitely have a lot of kids. So
Yeah.
how does
like
that
13 of
break
them,
down?
to be precise.
Well, how it breaks down, we have a blended family. So our older two daughters, their father's family does like a big Thanksgiving celebration every year. So they're gone for like 2 days,
Okay.
right? My sons, I don't think they had like a big Thanksgiving, but her mom or their mom does a good job of, they go to her mom's house, they'll all eat dinner together. Her brother and whoever else would come over there eat. And then that dynamic, what it leaves is me and my wife and our daughter to kind of spend Thanksgiving by ourselves, which is cool. But it's like, I think since she's getting older, baby girl, she looks at everybody else and she'll hear the stories of Thanksgiving and she's starting to wonder why hers isn't that way. So, you know what I mean? Like when you enter those conversations with somebody so young, it's like, how do you explain that? And normally, right, I'll go to my mom's house and eat. And like me and her about to have a heart-to-heart conversation after this shit too, because it left like a bad taste in my mouth. I'm gonna be real about it. She called me and was like, yo, I heard Dr. Fossey say like some type of virus is spreading, so we're not gonna gather. I'm gonna just cook you food and you pick it up.
Oh, Lord.
Right? So I'm like, the fuck? Like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's 30 of us. Like it's 4 of us. Me, my wife, Saxton, you know, my baby girl, and Mason. Because they had my other son. So what that shit felt like, it's like they didn't want me there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and my, you know, credit to my dad. Like he was, you know, that was that. And man, I think I went home just kind of feeling bad. Like it just brought up a lot of negative emotions, like internally, like, man, here we go again. You know, they telling me they don't want me, like shit like that. So I just ended up kicking it at the house, feet up, watching football, ate a bunch of food, gained back all the weight I lost.
In a day.
Yeah,
in a
3
day.
hours
Yeah,
time.
a couple
That's funny.
hours.
All right, so my thought
what
on
I'm
that is like,
But I'm still grateful.
so like
you know.
my thought on that is like they probably never once thought about that, how it affected you, like at all. So like there's that whole like perspective thing of like introspective of like not how our brains work. That's exactly how alcoholics and addicts' brains work, right? They probably didn't mean any of that stuff on how it affected you. They just like, we're kind of nervous about getting sick, and you took it as a slight and went all down this like fucking
rabbit hole of like,
nostalgic
yeah,
of like,
why don't they want me, man?
Yeah, this whole, and that may or may not have been the case of like they didn't want you there, or they just were weirded about by the monkeypox or whatever the fuck.
Word.
But that's how our brain.
That's how it works.
That's
You're
how
right.
it works. It's just kind of wild. It still affects us.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
Well, it's a fear-based modality, and
not just that. I'm just talking about like how like certain things that that rejection of like
Yes.
oh, dude, that totally brings up old wounds and the things that still
that you thought were healed
well,
really aren't.
they've still
Oh,
never had
bro.
those conversations,
Right.
you know. And I think you're very right that I think this really brings that to a head. You need to have that conversation. You need to sit down.
Like I feel like, and I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done that side of like the street cleaning where I've said these things multiple times. Like, and I'm not gonna keep repeating shit for 13 years. Like I'm not. But what it did bring up, I ran a group with a co-host of mine, you know, for the company that I see clients for, and that was like, I forget what the fucking topic was, but what you just said about bringing up those old emotions. And this dude that I run the group with, his name's Jeff. He's like a worldwide speaker. Like he travels like and just speaks places. So me and him have conversations, and I admire his ability to run a group and like pull emotions out of people. Because I'm supposed to be hosting this group with him, and I end up crying on the Zoom. Like, and I was like, oh shit, cut the camera off, bro. But it brought up those emotions, and what it boiled down to is like, what have you given up to kind of gain in life, right? And this is why that shit at Thanksgiving hurt. I went to this E.T., the hip hop preacher like convention probably like 7 years ago, when I was just trying to like figure life out. Like, man, I had a job, I had kids, like I want to elevate, like what's next for me? So at the end of it, he passed around paper and he asked everybody in the audience to write down something that you need to give up to be successful, right? And then to that point, right, it was my parents, like the mind tricks that they played, the like negative feeling, the rejection, like all of that shit was in play, but they were always my safety net. You know what I'm saying? Like I got kicked out of the house, I'd have to tuck my tail between my legs and go apologize for some shit I didn't do. And that was kind of like the history, like beat you into submission, tell you suck, but then you need me. So you got to come back at some point.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's like, I don't ever want to feel that way. I don't want my kids to feel that way. None of that shit. So I wrote their names on this paper. And then he passed around a basket. And he was like, yo, throw the paper away. You just giving it up. You never have to relive that anymore. And that shit broke something inside of me, bro, because right after that happened, my life started to, I guess, elevate, right? Because I removed what had been the safety net and like damaging to me. And
you cut an energetic cord
right.
in that moment.
And that shit sounds so bad, but it was like real in the moment to understand, like, I don't have to deal with that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I love them to death, but I also know how to love from a distance. So when Thanksgiving happened, everybody was there. Mom, dad, brother, my older son. And the only people that weren't was me, my wife, my younger son, my little daughter. So it's like, shit, he go to school, so if you worried about a virus, like, it just didn't add up. 1 + 1 didn't equal 2. And I didn't say nothing in the moment. I was like, all right, well, just give me the food and I'm going to slide anyway. Like, don't worry about it. So we hadn't yet spoke about it, but it did kind of bring up some of them, like, feelings where I just said in my shit.
It definitely did.
It did. Yeah, it brought them up, man. And I sat in some shit for like a couple hours. But then, man, I played like Uno with my daughter. Like, it just made the best of it. Like, ended up watching football, playing Uno with her. We played some Connect 4 shit with ping pong balls. And we just had a good day. But that's that. I'm grateful. I'm still grateful to be here. I'm grateful I remained sober through it. I didn't react in any way and like try to cause dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? I just let it be.
Right. And that really brings up something it's identification. Like we start that early in recovery. I identify to know what is wrong. Hi, I'm Gina. I'm an addict. Hi, I'm Gina. I'm an alcoholic. Right. Because identifying is a first step. And what I'm seeing you say, that even past initial like early recovery, you're still using that tool of identification. What is bothering me? Why is this bothering me? So then you can formulate a plan and say, okay, when this occurs again, or how will I, how will I address this? Because I really do think you need to sit down with your mom and say, this bothers me. This is what it makes me feel like. Do you understand that? If you could say you understand that and still choose to do that, I can respect that you are who you are and that is what it is.
Yo, I'm about to cry. Fuck y'all, man.
But like, honestly,
it's all good.
But you don't have to talk to your family. You don't have to we said we don't have that for our daughter, right? You could start having your own.
And that's
people, like people that you want there, that want, like have us over
Thanksgiving,
or like start your own thing.
All the little
like Redeem Family, the people you can choose
our family.
Yeah, you can choose,
bro.
Yeah.
Not that. Like I was telling Gina earlier, like that's the plan. Like moving forward. I'm sorry, y'all.
Have your own cookouts. Have your own celebration.
Let it out.
It's all good.
It
man.
is what it is.
Cry looking at you.
Whoops. Sorry, yo. Told you.
No,
man,
dude,
like,
this shit sucks. Like
that's deep
not
pain.
feeling like
that shit, man. It just brings it up because you think about like the moments, man, that led me to search for love. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
you need to have that conversation. It's like, do you like with your parents? It's like, is there a cord? Like not cord, but like, is there not?
I don't have a tissue.
Hold up. Just fuck the ratio up.
Thanks, bro. This is all live too, man. Fuck. All right, I'm good. I'm good.
Keep those near. I'm not fucking this ratio up again.
It's just gonna make for great conversation.
I don't know if we recorded the ratio part. But like,
oh man,
you don't have to have them there. You can have us there, or the people you care about. Making those memories.
And that's how we're gonna move.
Moving forward,
yeah, moving forward, man. Because it don't make sense.
You can put it on them. Hey, you can come to our place, and if you don't show up, I know why.
But
That's
that's
cool.
normally how I operate, right? Like
Don't let them have that.
my wife used to be like a staple for like, oh, you need to invite them. You need to invite them. I'm like, I don't need to. They're not gonna show up. Like, what don't you get? And it would hurt my feelings because it was like doing something that I knew the answer to. So when they'd say, oh, like I'd tell a story and then we try.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
What about these cookouts, man? You haven't gone to a couple of them. So I don't know if I quite believe you,
Bro,
my man.
They were so good. I had roasted portobello.
I'm just saying, like, we had 2 functions we were supposed to have, and my man called out of them.
You know what? We gonna plan something.
That's what I'm saying.
like
Like,
a bonfire.
Yeah, we got to do something.
just hang
man.
out, cook marshmallows or whatever.
I'm gonna see a wifey do something this weekend. Let y'all get in the kitchen and do that shit, man. 'Cause I'm gonna be on the sofa talking to Uzzle about cameras and shit and lighting.
Yeah, just hanging out. Like, maybe, if anything, like, just like
Creating bonds and memories, because that's important, you know, in recovery for moments like that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like,
But that actually reminds me, there's a lot of people that I work with, I talk to, that in recovery, a lot of their trauma comes from family. And it is the best thing for their sobriety. Stay the fuck away from them,
Mhm.
right? Because a lot of them, a lot of them got high with their parents. A lot of them started drinking. A lot of them started, you know, drug use. I have heard so many stories. And so part of us is conditioned to say that I'm sober, therefore I'm going to try to make this circle perfect again in the way that I believe a family should be with our relations. And many times it's much more black and white, where we know that that's toxic, they're dangerous, they abused us, we did drugs together, whatever that may be, under the umbrella of family. And we know to stay away from that in sobriety. You're in that gray area where it is not as, you know, just black and white and cold cut to know that, is this toxic? Do I want my, you know, children around these people? Have they hurt me in the past? Is there just some conversation that can somehow make this all better? And 9 out of 10 times, there is not a conversation. People are people, and their characters are who they are, and they show up, you know, and you know that they're not really in your court. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It's like a lot of people act in ways outwardly because of who they are, and we don't want to believe that people are functional house owners and go to their work and they, you know, contribute to society as society say is successful, but they're really not great people.
Like, when is the last time you saw your parents have a party?
Oh, never.
Okay, then why the fuck do you think they're gonna have one?
I don't know, bro. Like, it's
you can't just like
I know
assume hey, we want this big gathering, so we're gonna have it. They probably just don't even want people in their motherfucking house. They finally got you out there, like, I'm over it. Yes, thank God.
And that could be it, bro. And like, again, man, I could be way overthinking it. You know what I'm saying?
That's also a conversation you need to have with them. Say, this really hurt my feelings. You may not have meant to do it, and that's not cool. I should have spoken up sooner.
And maybe I'm not going to hinge any more future family.
And if you didn't want me there, let's get that off the table.
Your plans.
Yeah.
And
you can come to our place. I'm not gonna. You can take a plate home with you.
Yes.
I love y'all. Sorry that I
no, there's no need to be apologize for anything.
Shut up.
It's probably because like I haven't talked about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's
an awful conversation as well. It's not gonna be easy. It's definitely tough.
It's not, man. And then you get into spaces sometimes, especially in recovery, where it's like repetitive. You know, like, well, shit, if you didn't understand it then, what?
Yeah.
But then also you get into their perspective and where they're coming from, like why that, like how they grew up. Or, this is why we put these walls up. And then you're like, oh, shit, I'm the asshole.
I understand because so much more now. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I didn't look at it from that way. So viewing it from both sides is like, it doesn't make me hurt any less. You know, because their intentions could have been, it could be good because that's all they know. Like you said, like learning that perspective, how they grew up, how they were raised, like, well, shit, it still don't feel good to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to teeter that line, but you're right. It's setting that boundary of, all right, well, this could cause some sort of discomfort and pain.
It seems like there's only communication when there's an argument.
Or like honest feelings. They can share
like, hey,
when
like
hits ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Rather than just openly talking about
Yeah,
it. That's
just
what I mean.
having like open conversation.
Open dialogue.
Yeah.
Like how you have your family set up.
Mhm.
They definitely don't have theirs.
That type of dynamic, bro. But see, it came from like a household of never discussing problems. You ever fucking screamed at somebody and just went to bed and woke up the next day like,
Still mad?
yeah,
Yeah.
mad as fuck and just never talked about it? Like that was the dynamic.
that's what I need to do. I repressed and suppressed, and we did not discuss feelings or because I mean that would have been ludicrous. That's why I
Mhm.
still think I initially react like a jackass
Mhm.
in uncomfortable, vulnerable situations before I realize, hey, I'm not that little child again. I'm not
Right.
in that household again.
But that's part of you protecting that
Yeah,
that
we're-
inner
what-
child.
That's like,
Yeah,
what
'cause-
did they go through to make them like that?
I don't know. And that's that's part of like figuring out. But then I also teeter the other line where it's like, it really ain't my job to figure that shit out.
It isn't. It
You know,
really
like
isn't.
it's my
But it's
job
also
to
you're the one who has the feelings hurt,
right.
not them.
So,
Right.
So it is your job.
so we know.
If you think about it,
Going forward, change
to
the
be
power
honest, I mean, if
dynamic.
he's going to be hurt about it, it's his dilemma.
But so it's like,
Because they're going to do it.
let me tell you a story, right? And this was like, and this is family dynamic. This shit is open. I think I talked about it with y'all before too, right? When you know certain situations, you just kind of avoid them. So one evening I was traveling. It was long ass day, bro. Me and Steph were coming back from New York. My folks were watching my daughter, and we like stopped in Delaware, hit the casino, like just took our time coming home. And we were like, man, let's just take an extra day because it's already late. Like, I don't feel like, nah, fuck it, let's go. Like, let's go pick up Saxon. We miss baby girl. It's like 10:30 at night. I've been on the road since like 7, 8 in the morning. I'm tired, right? I get into my family's house, and it's like this type of dynamic. I'm standing up at the table. My dad's here. Mom's here. My younger brother's
You're
like
always
sitting.
at the damn table when you guys are having these
Always,
moments.
right.
You should avoid the table. There you
So,
go.
so
Start
I
with
walk
that
in.
first.
I walk in, right, and everything's kind of cool. And knowing myself, self-awareness is like,
There's tension in the air.
yeah, bro, you could feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have,
With a knife.
I shouldn't have even engaged in conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, get your stuff. We're gone.
Yeah, just, hey, y'all, thank you so much. Peel, right? My mistake was right here. They started talking about some shit, like, it didn't even make sense, whatever the conversation was. I think it was about
They were
football.
just talking
Yeah,
to open
football.
the door.
And it was like how I possibly was doing the wrong thing, like where I had my son playing football, and my mom had these kind of like backwards ass comments, and I'm like, bro, that shit don't even make sense. Like, why
I
would
would
you
have
say?
been like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I don't recall asking your opinion.
Hey, it was.
You
That's
know,
why I'm
you
breaking
gotta-
down the context. Like, it was a long fucking day. I've been on the road. This shit won't.
Wasn't as
Yeah, it won't as sharp to be
you
like,
were
oh,
in
thank you,
reactionary
cool. Like,
mode,
let's get the
yeah.
hell out of here, you know. Then my pops was sitting here, and it was like that gaslighting shit where I'm standing up. He was looking at me like, why are you so mad? Like, why are you getting upset? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, what? Like, are you listening to this? Are you hearing? And then what really got me is where I understood, like, it's time to go. You know, like, I started bubbling inside and shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, it's time to go. And I go to leave, like, I hit the corner to walk out.
Maybe your parents just aren't tactful.
Bro, my younger brother was sitting there, right? And looked up and was like, that's right, Jarrod. Walk away. Fam. I spun around and was like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, make me walk away. And like, all hell broke loose, but it was my fault. You know what I'm saying?
You just brought a big.
I allowed it to get there.
That's a safeguard in my sobriety. I have to sleep. If I'm short fused in any way, pardon me, I'm still getting over that chest stuff. But
Right.
yeah, but if I don't sleep, I'm short fused, and I have to be on because always, if I am tired, I am going to snap. I know this about myself, so I make my meditation or a nap midday right before I'm up early, do all my things, midday nap or meditation, then I go to work. If I do not, 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to snap. I'm going to be mad at myself at the end of the day for my reaction because I know to do better. I know to breathe into situations. I know to move that energy so I don't, it doesn't cling to me. But that's part of my sobriety is I have to sleep. That is my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
don't
but it's
play
a
around.
boundary
I
that you
don't
got.
play around
Yeah.
with that because I'm not my best form.
Nah, bro. That's what I'm saying. The power was there to walk away. And I did. I got to the car and shed some grown man tears, kind of like y'all saw, because it was like,
Mhm.
why do I let this happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I
Mhm.
always get to this point where it's like me feeling sad that I could have done something wrong? Like that little boy, like, let me tuck my tail between my legs and go apologize. Like, I was like, man, fuck that. I'm
Well,
not
maybe
sorry.
they were like didn't know
Yeah.
how to. All right, playing devil's advocate.
Sounds
Maybe,
like they like to egg him on.
or they didn't realize they didn't know how to
Oh, so
tactfully go about the conversation, and maybe it wasn't the right time, but maybe they just felt the need to bring it up.
Bro,
you're
I'm
assuming
playing-
they're evolved human beings, and what I'm
He's
hearing,
they're dude. Have you seen their house?
I don't give a shit where they live or what they do.
He's
My point.
doing all right for himself, so he's pretty
That's-
smart. He's
No,
a pretty
no,
smart guy.
I
That's
love
not
my
what I'm
pops.
saying. That's not what I'm
yeah.
saying. You know, an evolved, people are people who take that time to do the internal work, and the majority of society does not. So if you're,
But-
walking into a situation where people think it's perfectly acceptable to say catty remarks or to not think before they speak or to just disrespect you because they have already taken that place in that position in your life.
Maybe they didn't think that their comment was going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, no, I don't
Maybe.
think they're stupid people. And
So maybe he would. And that's why he was saying, "Why are you getting mad? I'm not coming from a disrespectful place."
And I also think that people
That's
are
all
not
I'm
stupid
saying.
and they know how to push buttons.
Well, I think also,
That could
like,
have been it.
so like I'm explaining it from my perspective. So yeah, two things can be true. Maybe it was. In my neck of the woods, that shit is called gaslighting.
The,
I
Like,
understand that,
and
you
but
know-
maybe as
power-
a non-common
the
common
power,
sense
the
or
power dynamic in any which way is the fact that they were doing Jarrod a favor by watching his child. And
Mhm.
because of that, it spun some conversation that whether they realize it or not, they might go to a negative angle because they have been through some things and they have cast him off as being labeled up and put in a box a long time ago. And it sounds like they have never allowed
we
themselves
don't
to
know
transition.
how they thought.
I don't know, but Gina's on point. It's
Yes.
like you inside my fucking head right
That's
now,
how
yo.
he's thinking, but you don't understand like
I'm
that.
sensing this, and
You're
trust
sensing
me,
how he feels.
I'm very
It
good
sound
at
it
these
sound
things,
pretty
though.
good, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
But what I'm
Um,
saying is like I'm just saying as devil's advocate.
Yeah, you
playing
put in
on-
the bigger picture and like looking at it from the
How many
eyes of
years will he have to,
He doesn't have
establish
to
or
do
prove himself,
anything.
right?
That's the thing. He can walk away,
They-
cut them off, done.
Right, but they believe
Mhm.
that he owes them this song and dance.
That's why he
Mm.
needs to have that
And
conversation.
I one and done after a conversation because at this point
He's never had it though.
You know,
I mean, it's come out in different forms. You know what I'm
Arguments,
saying?
Probably arguments.
Because so those conversations
You get it.
generally do end with sometimes an argument or like me just still feeling unresolved because you're not listening.
have you thought about bringing
Dig
a
what I'm
third
saying?
party into this?
Like
You know,
Like a go
Yeah.
to therapy or something.
Not
Or like
something
a
as
mediator
formal,
type
but
shit.
yes, maybe a mediator of some
Man,
sort.
like I've
that you
entertained
know-
the idea, but it's like if you know somebody, right? You ever talk to somebody and like, man, my parents are older. Are they like mid 60s? But there ain't no fucking changing unless you just up one day and decide. Like you,
you got to go into this with like certain talking points
Mhm.
that you want to get off, like ask about, and not let it
the hard-
spiral. Your
the hard
emotions spiral.
Questions, yeah, the hard questions with an observer who can, say, "Hey, that is gaslighting. Hey, that's not an acceptable form." To get to a correct, area here to answer.
Like if you
So-
know this is gonna hurt my feelings, why would you say that?
yeah. I mean, I'm open to trying it.
Yeah,
It's like you saw it in real time, bro. Like there is some like unhealed like
Mhm.
emotions that just kind of bury themselves, and then certain moments, like fucking that, bring that shit out of me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I hate it because it's like, well, goddamn, like,
At what point do I get to heal and be
yeah. At
whole from
what
all of
point
this?
does this shit just stop? Like, and I can go.
But you can stop it at any
I
point.
do, and but for the most point, I have because let me also say that my younger brother, he came by the crib the next day and apologized. Like after that shit, he kind of understood the dynamic, so he did a fucking excellent job. You know what I'm saying? And like I welcome that because that was the first time like an apology had ever been received. Where I was just showing up to pick up my daughter.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't there to beef with nobody. like
But
you know what I'm
ask
saying?
him, hey, where was this coming from?
Man, I don't know. I don't really remember, so I don't want to say I didn't. So I mean, I might have. I
Or
just
you might have
remember
been
him.
just mad as fuck and like, okay, he's apologizing. Or it's just
I
there's
feel like they were sitting around. There
Yeah,
was
bro.
some
He
shit sitting around at that table that started to that
maybe, man.
family.
It almost sounded like I walked into it.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
my power was in my right mind. I could have just kept walking. Like right now, had that happened, I would have
Like,
laughed.
hey, why didn't Jarrod give us a call? Why is he gonna be an extra day, or
Bro,
why is he taking so long? Why
it
is he
could
not?
have been
Why is he not
all of
considerate
that.
of our
It
time?
could have been all of that, and I understand that perspective. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just playing devil's
No,
advocate. I'm on
I
your
That's
side of
appreciate
heart.
shit though
Right.
to walk in when you're picking up your child.
I understand that. I would have been mad as fuck. I'm telling you, I
Nah,
would not
bro,
have handled it well.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it 100% is sit back and look at it like, well, what could I have done better? Right? But then it's like you also know being self-aware comes with knowing when to just shut the fuck up.
I don't.
See, I do, and that's why I beat myself up so
I will
bad
say
that day.
sobriety has taught me so many tools now to be able to
I take
recognize
everything
myself.
personal.
Really?
Everything
recognize
personal.
4 agreements,
another-
man.
You know,
Don't
I've
take
walked
it personal.
Yeah, I've walked into rooms where I'm like, or servers will be coming up to me and this and this and this, and everyone's upset, and I'm like, that's not my energy to be upset. I'm not going to take that on. I'm not upset in this moment. I can handle this, and we're going to handle this, but I'm not accepting your energy right now. I'm not going to take on this feeling. And I realized that only through sobriety that I was able, that comes back to identification. Wait, this isn't my feeling. This isn't originating from me. I am not, and I don't want to partake of this. And I would say there's something to be said about the power dynamic. I wouldn't have them watch your kids anymore. I wouldn't set up having family functions on their end.
Yeah, on
We
their
really
terms.
don't.
Yeah.
They're on your terms.
We really not. Like generally, I don't think it's Thanksgiving, man. Like
That's
generally that's the
assumption.
time you pull up and like normal Thanksgiving is, bro. We show up, we eat. I hit the sofa, watch TV. I don't know why this year was different. It's not. You know what I'm saying? But it hurt my feelings. So next year, like y'all said, the power dynamic, man, we
Good
just
old
going
family, and good old redeem your family.
yeah. We gonna
Cookout
go
or
ahead
some
and
shit.
redeem
No,
yourself,
my-
chill spot.
That brings me to,
What's up?
I was an outcast from my family for
yeah,
quite
yeah.
a few years.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I was.
Get off of this sad shit, cause I can't cry no more.
It used to be big family gatherings, when I was in my 20s, and it used to be all the siblings, and it used to be extended family, and then my in-laws, because I was married at the time, and it was something, that it was heartwarming. And it first started when I was probably in my teenage years, that we had real Thanksgivings, because we moved back to Florida, and my grandmother used to host them, and it felt real, and I got to understand what looking forward to a holiday for the first time was, and feeling that sense of family and togetherness. Never had that. We were so poor, and we were getting like handout food on Thanksgivings, and just scraping things together to make it work. It was not a happy affair. Or we were going over to my stepdad's brother's house. He was a drunk, and he would be burning half of whatever he was cooking, and his kids were all mean to me. And I was
like
always
a regular old family gathering.
I wasn't blood. I was always very much made aware of that when I went to these functions. So, to come full circle, being a drug addict and going through, I think the worst Thanksgivings, I will be said, was the 2 that I spent locked up. Even though none of my family at that point was talking to me, and I had no great grand plans, there is nothing worse than the pale, like, paint, green
Christmas
paint,
patty,
and the cold cement and the off-colored paint of the walls, and just the sadness in the air.
Oh my God!
And
I spent the Thanksgiving in jail.
Yeah, and
I forgot about
and
that.
everybody in line trying to call loved ones that are never picking up, and it's an overall miserable experience. So
it could always be worse.
In early sobriety, I just knew that I was just so hopeful. That's all I can say. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know why. I was just so excited to know the next best thing was just about to happen. I didn't know why I felt that. It was just happening. And about 3 to 4 years ago, I had a dream, and I was sitting down at my at a big table, and my brother was there and all my family, and we were all reunited and we were having Thanksgiving. Mind you, I hadn't spoken to him in almost a decade, and as close as we were growing up, and because we were the closest of the siblings, and then he came to live with me when I was married, and really took him out of the life down in South Florida when we moved to Virginia, because my stepdad had died and my mom really needed the help, and so appreciated. It was the most loving thing she could have done, because it was hard, and when I went through my addiction, he cut me out, and then he cut my whole family out. He and so we hadn't heard from him in years, and it was about 8 years, I think. And so when he called my mom out of the blue last year, I believe, and she was so overwhelmed, she called me up crying. I thought something was really wrong. I didn't know what was happening. And she's like, it's your brother. It's your brother. He's calling. I'm like, that's so great. That's amazing. And I fully support that. And it was still a few more months before I had a conversation hearing his voice. But this last Thanksgiving was the first Thanksgiving that I showed up at his house. Now I know where he lives, which is cool. And
growth.
and B, I got to cook the turkey, and that's something that's so dear to my heart, because I spent so many years perfecting that recipe. And
waiting for that moment.
And I don't even eat meat, so I have no idea what it tasted like. And so I was so excited. I had so much food, and my son cooked the mashed potatoes, and it was good, because everybody told me, and I watched them very carefully.
Wait, can I ask a question?
But
and then you can finish?
Yeah, go on.
Just one question, and then you go. How do you know you perfected the recipe if you can't eat it?
It took me 5 years. I would write down all the adjustments in a notebook, and I'm like, I need more of this. I need a little less. Who tasted it? I can only go on memory, but it is what I remember on memory, being as close to what took me years of actually having tasted it to have an idea.
Oh, so you ate it at one point in time. All right,
many years ago. So. So many years ago. And I was responsible for making the turkey. My brother had dropped off the turkey. I just found it in my fridge because my mom, I was like, the door's open, you guys put it in there. So it was a collaborative affair, and it was really a bit overwhelming. And I remember just coming in with food, and we're all putting in, all the family is showing up, all the siblings, and all the cousins are playing, and they're having such a good time. And I look over and see my grandfather's slot machine that I grew up, and for family holidays, we'd all go and hit it up. And my brother gave the whole speech to, whatever you win, you get to take. All the little nieces and nephews were so excited. And I was just watching the next generation of what brought excitement to my life in the good times. And my brother was able to bring that full circle.
That's what's up.
And of course, we've had the conversations, that he had to do that for the protection of his family, in the sense of, I was really spinning off the earth, and I was nothing but toxic energy. And I don't blame my family. And I don't blame him for, first and foremost, protecting his from me, and my bullshit. And my mom, she was a little all over the place at times too. And, but it doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. We had Thanksgiving this year where sitting there, and all I saw was smiles, full bellies, everybody just laughing. It was so perfect. Like, I didn't know what it was going to be. And I only pissed off my sister like a little bit.
So the whole family was there?
Yeah. So all the siblings.
So Jackie.
Abby, Rocket. Well, Abby was sick. She was in the mountains. She was supposed to be there, but all of the siblings.
Jackie's got one child?
Yeah. Jackie's got a baby. Chris has two sons. And they're the best. When I tell you, whatever he's doing is it's incredible. They even put on a symphony for us with their trumpets. They played Jingle Bells. And it felt like a real family.
Sorry.
It did. It really did. Why are you looking?
The computer made a noise. So
I was like, what the fuck?
Distractions.
No,
not distractions.
But yeah, so I mean, it was really, really cool to see. Everybody brought food. We all ate, and we ate, and we ate, and then we celebrated Sienna's 3rd birthday. and she was so perfect. She opened all the little gifts and was so excited.
See, that sounds
and
beautiful.
and it was better than I could have imagined. But I had that dream years ago, and if I gave in to saying that's so stupid, they all hate me, this is going nowhere, I could never have held on to that hope to know it kind of
What was possible.
Yeah, it's kind of a little scary, and I think this is always what overwhelms anything in the creativity mode when you get a glimpse or a hope or a thought, and it seems so ludicrous, but then you get to see it come true, like what you're growing right now with this podcast and your brand, and knowing it's going to have that moment where you go, holy shit, this is in my face, right? And I always love when you get to see it and feel it and really get to see the outcome of that. So
hell yeah.
It was a really, really great experience.
Now that almost sounds like a Hallmark movie.
It was.
This
awesome.
is exactly.
She was like on a roll for like 13 minutes.
Bro, you could see the joy in her face, bro.
No, god damn, it was a lot to take in. I was like, can she just pause? Give me a second to take it all in, but she never stopped.
Bro, we needed that after I set off the...
it was just so much coming. I was like, just pause. Let me recap what just happened.
Just take it in and shut up.
I'm trying to picture everything going on. It's just like...
Bro, it was a lot.
It was a lot. Jesus. You were like, if you did like beats per minute, you were like over 150.
Yo, you got to put that into like a movie script.
You were like...
Because you could do like the whole running with the law and then like daydreaming about the moment you could spend Thanksgiving with
You just went through the whole gambit of emotions of like... without taking a goddamn breath.
That's how it is in my head. It really
ends with you
me.
like...
And I'm sitting over here like, holy fuck. Can I ask a question? I don't want to stop the fucking cadence.
But how cool is that, though? We saw, like, two sides of what a holiday could be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where I started my fucking
I think that's
grown man tears. Yeah.
Every addict's and alcoholic's journey, though, right? Like, we all have to deal with that emotion of, like, have they really forgiven us? Have they accepted who we are? Are they not going to bring up that bullshit anymore? You know?
Yeah, there was no bullshit brought up. It was just happiness.
Once you get to
good
that,
vibes.
it's great.
It was pure. So perfect.
Stop bringing up all the embarrassing shit
right.
Done, you know? Or they don't even...
a
lot of that shit.
honor that, because my brother smokes weed, it was a sober Thanksgiving. And when I got there, because I knew Danny was probably like, hey, I'm going to find me some wine.
Let's go.
Bullshit. That motherfucker was stoned.
No, so he looks over at me. He goes, in support of who you are and where you're at today, none of us are drinking or anything. And I'm like, being around alcohol doesn't bother me. And I was just like, wow, thank you.
When the first time my dad did that, I was like, whoa. Whoa.
I remember my pops used to ask me, like, and it's not going to bother you, right? Like, no, dude. Like, do your thing, man. Like,
it was a big deal when my dad didn't drink around me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, nah, it shows that
it's just
somewhere in there they care.
It's their support, and and for them that's how they show
Yeah.
those things. Yeah,
like, damn, you actually do see me. That's the flip side of that coin too, man. Like, I didn't mean to start this shit off with my like.
No, it was perfect.
But that's also like the gambit of emotions that we all go through as addicts of like the worrying when before you get to the house, right? Of like, oh, I'm in for it, right? I know that once I open that door, there's gonna be tension, or is there gonna be tension, or what the fuck are they gonna say? Is gonna set me off. At what point are we gonna get through the day without getting set off?
Right,
you know, like
yeah, like I think being prepared for those moments. Cause most of the time that shit happened, it was like unexpected. Like, going back to that situation, like this Thanksgiving, but the day when I came back from New York, bro, I didn't. Normally I could feel something like, man, something's up. I didn't feel
but
nothing.
This is also
it's like,
also you need to change the dynamic of y'all's relationship. Like, this is how you speak to me, and that's it. Don't bring that bullshit on me. I'm leaving. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, facts.
Boundaries.
The boundaries. We talked about that.
We did. Normally they're there.
And if it starts creeping up, like how, like, no, we're ending this. We're cutting it off. We're moving on.
How was your Thanksgiving,
It was
bro?
great.
Gina broke down the hall. I gave the sad Hallmark movie.
Well, don't
Jeannie
forget,
had the happy ending movie.
But don't think. I mean, there was so many years of emptiness
Right.
on that day. So
It just all came full circle.
yeah,
That's
where,
beautiful.
I mean, being locked up is one of the hardest times to have.
You're about to cry too.
Yeah. So no, I'm good. I'm good.
I slept till
Good,
noon.
but-
It
Look
was
at this.
lit.
This
And
Bring it on home, Muzzle.
Yeah.
tell us
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
I'm crying. You're crying.
I
What's-
slept till noon. It was fucking great. My mom
My
had to
heart
pick
is
me
so
up. That was
happy.
fucked up feeling. I
What
hate
happened?
that.
Your mom did what?
Had to pick me up.
Why?
So my
Oh, because the car. Yeah.
my car broke down, and like having to feel that's like always a weird.
Right.
You know,
With
she
your
picked
mom.
me up from jail. That
Yeah.
was fucked up feeling.
Oh,
But then like waiting around, like, are they here yet? Are they here yet?
Yeah.
You know, like it's
where are
fucked up.
you?
Yeah, like I'm on their time. I'm thinking to myself, like, well, fuck, this is always how they felt. I can't say shit.
God damn it, Muzzle.
Yeah.
Picking you up again.
Yeah. Nah, they were glad to pick me up. To be
Nah,
honest.
man, I
Like,
bet, bro. I'm just fucking with you.
we had a great meal. Didn't argue. Had some laughs. It was pretty good.
That's
Got
what's up,
sent
man.
home. You know, woke up the next morning. Had to spend a shit ton of money on a rental car. It is what it is.
It's life.
It's life.
Grateful
It's
for
pretty-
it all.
I'm grateful to be alive.
No doubt.
I'm
So
grateful to
sad.
have friends. I'm grateful to have family. The family that, you know, we've built.
Mhm.
You know, and also have changed the relationship with my family.
Mhm.
Like, if you're gonna be, I told, like, that's who I was, not who I am. At
Mm.
least I set the boundary.
Say that again.
That's who I was. This is who I am.
Mm.
Gonna have to get those thoughts out of your head and understand who I am now. I mean, my actions of my past don't. I mean, granted, they do mold who you are, but you learn.
Mhm. They
So
don't define you
they
now.
don't. Yeah, that me fucking up back then doesn't define who I am now
Mm.
by any means. So, me changing that was probably I did that a couple years ago on, I think, Mother's Day.
Mhm.
No, Father's Day. It was on Father's Day a couple years ago when I sat down and had that conversation of, you know, why do y'all talk to me like this? Why
Mm.
my went to my father and then went to my stepfather. Like, you know, my mom was like, why do y'all talk to me like this?
Mhm.
And she told me her past, and I was like, well, I'm a fucking asshole, you know. And how she grew up, and I was like, well, I turned out pretty good, you know. And then did the same thing with my father, and there was a lot of crying and like how he grew up. I'm like, well, fuck,
Here I
I
am.
can't believe he's fucking still alive. Like, here we are. I mean, I've never seen my father cry like that. You know, he was sober, and it was just things got emotional.
Mhm.
And you know, but since we had that conversation, things have been fantastic.
And that's awesome.
You know, because like there's an open dialogue.
Mhm.
There's, you know, the perspective of caring how each other feels and how
Mhm.
things are going to come out. You know, so ever since we did that, my relationship with my mother and my stepfather
Mhm.
have drastically changed. You know, like, and actually, to be honest, my father's as well. I mean, there's more respect.
Mm.
The respect has come, like, rather than having to look at you still like a child
Right.
that you can't take care of yourself. It's more, hey, I got this. And so the dynamic changed, and it was fucking dope since.
Nah, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, we had a great. I finally convinced my mom. This happened a couple years ago that we don't do turkey
Mhm.
anymore for Thanksgiving because she burns the fuck out of it. It's dry as shit. Because she'd be like, she's my mom's in worry where thinks she's gonna get sick. So like when that button pops, you know, on the turkey's had the button. When it pops, it's ready.
Yeah, with the button. I know.
It's a thermometer, but
Yeah,
those are
built in.
useless. You should just take those out and have your own testing out. It's 165
Listen,
full.
I understand
180
that.
is too much.
I understand.
Go ahead.
that. She was like, I'm gonna leave in a couple more minutes. Like-
Does she know that meat keeps cooking?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the point.
But it's like.
Then she pulls it out and still keeps cooking.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know. That's where that dry shit comes into play.
And so
Um,
what did you eat, bro?
We do ham now. fuck that turkey. I don't even like turkey. I'm serious because it was like,
Like, we're gonna fix this.
yeah, we're just not gonna cross this bridge because I get so mad. I'm like, just pull the fucking turkey. It's ready.
Hold on. Is there anything that reminds me? Is there anything from like loved ones that they make that you're always like, you eat it and you're like, why? This is so bad.
No. I'll say it. You're not good at this. Don't bring it here.
He will say that too.
My man said he made his mom stop making the turkey.
My stepfather was like, trying to eat it like I was like a piece of leather. Like I'm like, are you seeing this? It's fine. I was like, no amount of gravy is saving this.
That's love, man.
Yeah.
He's like,
See, what you were witnessing.
She was like, I know it's dry. I'm like, just fucking own it. We're not good at this, Mom. But she's been killing the ham. Primo.
You made the swap from turkey to ham,
Yeah,
and everything is great.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great. I needed that laugh after how this shit started, man.
I mean,
so
like,
thank you, bro.
Special
shit.
occasions, no turkey. No Christmas turkey, no. Fuck
Just
all
ham.
that shit. Ham. We're a ham family.
That could be part of your merchandise.
Ham family.
Only those who know.
Hey, that's a bar. If you know, you know. Ham family.
We a ham family.
I'd wear it. Make a cool
Oh
sweatshirt.
man, bro, straight up.
We got them hawks.
Somebody would buy that just because, like, oh, what the hell is that? Ham family. And then you got to listen to the pod. Find out why.
I like that. That's a good idea.
No.
No?
We wouldn't sell a single one.
Yeah, it would.
I would buy it. So you
Fam,
got one.
You would buy it.
My
Yeah, it's
favorite
like one.
podcast, right? The Joe Budden podcast.
Fuck
The
that
dude, look, one of his co-hosts, Rory, told this story about.
He's not on there anymore.
No, well, yeah, he switched up. Money came into play, and the shit went, and they were all best friends.
So
That's
it's
why.
not, it's not the same podcast, right?
I mean, it's still the Joe Budden podcast. He just had two. Well, one guy stayed, Park stayed, but he was always out of the shit. Like you never even see
He's
him on
always in the
camera.
back.
Yeah, he's the audiophile video dude. He just chills in the back, and you hear him talk. And then he got Ice and Ish on there now, like with him talking. But Rory told the story on one episode. They were like weird newspaper headlines. So he said he was a kid, and his uncle was driving down the Jersey Turnpike. And no, his uncle's mom, his aunt, was driving down. Well, however that breaks down. His uncle was a kid, and he got pushed out of the car on the Jersey Turnpike. And the newspaper headline said, "Rubber Ball Paul, little boy bounces down Jersey Turnpike."
That's bad.
And he put that shit on the shirt, bro. And I never forgot it. Rubber Ball Paul. That shit. So here you go, ham family.
We ham family.
We are.
Rubber
we can all wear it to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We
The
got them
Redeemed
hawks.
family.
We got them hawks.
Them hot. That shit sounds sweet too.
We got them
Yeah,
ham
man.
hawks.
Anyway,
but yeah,
attitude
so
of gratitude.
I
right?
know.
Attitude of
I am
gratitude.
very grateful for how things have turned out. You know, like could have gone sideways, right?
Yeah.
Everything has gone great.
Good.
We're thankful for everything. It's a humbling experience. You know, life.
It is. It makes me want to cry sometimes. I
know.
do when I
Clearly.
think about it. It does. Yeah.
But I mean, there's a moment worth crying for something that.
And that shit is honestly not worth crying for.
No,
Yeah.
it is pain and joy. It's all worth it.
If
Sometimes
they don't
you-
want to be.
'Cause guess
They
what
don't
we
want
get
you
today?
around. Don't waste your time.
Guess what
Hey.
we get today? We got our emotions back.
Yeah, bro.
But also we
Full
we
form.
choose who we have in our space,
And that is choice as well.
and they're living they're charging rent
Mhm.
in your head. That place.
And my heart too, bro.
Yeah.
Because like you hear this story, you hear your story.
No,
and
mine wasn't always this good.
Well, I
Don't
know
get
that.
it
I know
twisted.
that. I know that. Hey, bro, listen. I get
Yeah,
it. I get
yeah.
it. And it's like I see, and that's where you fall into the highlight reel, right?
See, like my dad was in New York this year,
Mhm.
right? Like usually, my mom is one of 5. My dad is one of 6.
Mhm.
We didn't do anything with her aunts or anything
Really?
like that, right? We used to have massive gatherings,
Mhm.
but my grandmother on my mother's side passed away, so she was the glue,
Yeah.
right?
And that's what
We-
happened to my family.
Yeah, so like
shit just disperse.
God, shout out to grandmothers.
Shout out, man. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, man.
They are the glue.
So my
true.
aunt was the glue
Mhm.
on my dad's side, like my aunt Karen, but
Mhm.
she's passed, and the family, nobody gets together now.
Why
Right.
don't you head that up?
I'm
Hit
good
up
on
everybody.
that. Last time we did that, the year after my aunt, one of my aunts passed, the other one fucking got fucked up, and my uncle fucking was carrying guns out the house. Shit was wild.
That shit just went.
It's time to go. We got to go.
Tell him to get the fuck out
Yeah.
and die.
I was like, why the fuck does he have a gun? And you just hear him storm off, fuck that bitch. I was like, oh shit.
Well, maybe it's under happier circumstances.
I'm just
this
saying, like,
time.
so it wasn't always this gravy. There was definitely years where, like, me and my mom would get into it.
Oh man. Oh, bro.
That shit's wild. It's alive. It's
I
real life.
want to be the glue now, man, because I don't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can invite who you want.
Yeah,
over.
we gonna start that trend, man. We just gonna from here on out, it's just, hey, this is Thanksgiving, pull up. Like, y'all do what y'all do in the kitchen.
Don't say you're gonna have a cookout, then not have the cookout.
Fam, I ain't even never cleaned my fucking grill.
Let's just do a outside bonfire.
Yeah.
We can rent a community center.
I will bring
Nah, we can
firewood.
pull up to the crib.
I will
man.
bring marshmallows.
Let's do that. Like, let's
Just
do
a bonfire,
something.
something simple.
But I do want to like get my daughter involved, man, because I do feel bad for her. Like, listening to how you describe it, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up that way too. Like, oh, I'm going
All
over.
the
I get to see
cousins
my
over.
cous's. We all, bro, it's no.
A couple of the
It's
cousins
none
go
of
sneak
that
off,
shit.
come back
Yes.
stoned as fuck.
Yeah, bro.
You
Me
know?
and my cousins, we going to the mall. We hit around the corner, smoke a little bit, come back stoned, hungry as a bitch. Yo, what's wrong with you, huh? What you doing, huh? Not knowing, then just go duck
Get
off.
yourself a plate, huh?
Yeah.
You know?
They know what's going on.
So yeah, man, it's like technically she probably won't ever have that, but I can build bonds with
You
people.
don't know that. I mean, if you have a close enough unit, like friends and
Yeah,
family,
they got
Friends
like
who got
kids and
kids,
you
let's
shit.
see
do
each
it.
other at
Yeah.
every function, you know.
I just got to be more open to it, man. 'Cause I think again, I sit in my shit, and it's like, man, fuck it. Like, I just sit here alone.
But you also
You know
gotta
what
be
I'm
cool
saying?
with like hosting.
Yeah, I mean, my wife do that shit.
Yeah,
I-
but
I
that means
watch football.
strangers in your house.
It's okay.
I'm
Let's
cool with
start
that.
with a bonfire.
Yeah, like it's only people that I love and trust. It's not like
but still, like,
hey, everybody that
stepping
listens
over-
to this
No, 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 no.
podcast, come
no,
over.
no, it's more like, why? Get your motherfucking feet off my couch.
all 718 of you.
Yeah, all
Like,
13 yo kids.
Yo, all of y'all come. No,
Yeah.
bro, nah. Because I go crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
get like,
Day Day and his kids.
what do they call that shit? Like, where noise just starts to fucking bug you.
Oh yeah, high percent.
like-
I don't.
It's like overly.
Overstimulation?
Yes, overstimulation. I'll get that shit sometimes. And internally, it's like, starts to bubble.
I told you that's me in
Holy
Costco.
fuck.
It's me in
Oh,
Costco, and I'm working.
That's the trigger.
I'm really trying to work on how the self-talk before, trying to be
Why
more
Costco?
open and kind.
She just said she
I
doesn't like the
just-
crowds
it's
and
like
all of that shit.
it's
in there.
like capitalistic cockroaches.
I've made the
yes,
same,
it's all of
yeah.
those. Yes, it's like
You like talking like Black Friday sales kind of shit.
I
I
stay
do that
home.
shit. That's when you text me, like, yo, you been out? I'm like, bro, I don't go
They won't
nowhere
tell.
on Black Friday.
No.
Because everything's online now.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see like,
And you had a mission in mind
Well,
that
yeah,
you wanted to look
shoes.
at options.
I know
Yeah, I
everybody
wanted
for
to
like
physically
shoes
see.
coming out
Mm.
that was a big deal, but I just don't really. I still find overwhelming crowds.
you went to
of
a
all
fucking
the things.
concert. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Concerts are fine. That's in a. You're coming for a uniform. You like know
Same.
what type
Everybody's
of people.
going shopping.
No,
Same
it's that
concept.
one motherfucker who's gonna walk
Same
diagonal
concept.
Nah,
at a
bruh.
weird ass cadence
Because I'm going
She
to get
doesn't know what they're
pissed off in
doing.
the parking lot when I'm waiting
Yes.
on the spot and you bring that Hyundai and skirt and cut in front of me. Now I got to block you and get out and
Just
no,
park
bro.
all the way in the back and walk.
That's what I do now, but
So I said,
then
right,
it used to
like,
piss me off. Like,
we gotta
motherfucker, you saw me
formulate-
That's
waiting.
you. That's a you problem, boss.
Not if you cut me off, then
It's
it's a
definitely-
we problem.
No, it's definitely you problem.
Nah,
Because I'm
man,
gonna
fuck
go
that shit.
straight to fucking side.
That's because you got a little bag you carry and you go.
What's up, baby? What's up, baby?
you tap your chest and
What's
then
up,
keep
fam?
walking. Like, I see
Hey,
you.
what's up, baby?
And I was like, I too got a bag.
Yeah.
Quick draw McGraw, goddammit. Who's first?
Yeah, but I mean, this is good conversation. You know,
Nah, this
obviously,
was.
we brought up some things we're grateful for, things we need to work on, things that we need to improve. But it's only through sobriety we actually get to focus and have the lens to say, what's next? What's new? How can I develop? How can I evolve?
Also, I think our relationship took a new level because I cried in front of y'all.
I shed a tear too.
You did. So that was beautiful.
We're getting there, man.
Working at us was like, yeah, pussies.
Yes, he totally has that look. He's totally out there.
No, I'm not. Like, this is bonding. Or I think, like,
Man.
We'll get you there.
Sharing a meal is always bonding. Or, like, putting yourself through, like, that whole kayaking thing, like a strenuous thing that, like, you're uncomfortable with, nobody's comfortable with, will build that relationship. You know? It's definitely a bonding thing.
Aspect of it.
Or, like, going on a trip together or, like, going to a certain concert. Because you're having that emotional
connection of
and
like, memory that you create
together.
Yeah.
You know? So that's huge. So like having a cookout where you get the laugh. You remember when baby girl fell with the food on her, fell, you know, like all over. It was funny, you know, that kind of shit.
Yeah, bro. I'm going to work on
it,
building those moments and memories, man, because it's like I look at her and, you know, like us repeated again. We all shared like that same childhood memory.
That's not always great, man.
I mean, it ain't gonna always be great, but you remember the fun times, the walks to the store. But I remember some of the negative shit too, but for the most part, like everybody family got some shit with them.
Yeah,
like,
but
come on,
like,
bro. Like it won't always great, but we was kids watching uncles and aunts argue and shit. Like, oh shit, time to go. like, bro, I've had it happen, but it's not. That shit don't get talked about. We get talked about. Man, I wish our kids
also like
could chill.
But it's like those are people I was forced to be around. There's not people that I wanted to be around.
As a kid?
I didn't give a fuck about my cousins, my aunts. I'd rather be
I
around my friends.
I loved it.
I thought this year it was really cool because I'm like,
outside of that,
everybody wanted to be there. It was a good vibe.
See, man, my cousins, bro, like we were like brothers and sisters growing up. Because
outside of that shit,
where
I
are we
didn't
at
talk
today
to.
then? Why don't
man, everybody's so spread out. Like I'm the only person in Virginia. I got a cousin. I got one of my cousins, his family, you know, he married, got a couple kids. His mom and dad, they live in South Carolina. Everybody else is in Florida. It's not, but it's like, who is the middle point? You know what I'm saying?
South Carolina.
So then, like, everybody would have to get on page A. Next year, we're
Beach
going
house?
to South Carolina. That would be sick.
They make beach houses
Man,
that hold like 35 fucking people.
Blow some fucking bread up, man. So, yeah, but I want to be the matriarch to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is what I'm doing. Yes. You dig? And like I've already got that in my head.
I hate planning shit like that. I like going to parties. I hate hosting parties.
Fam, I ain't planning shit. I'm gonna just say, hey.
Oh, Steph, you make Steph do it. That's fucked up.
Sorry, babe.
That's fucked up.
She already know. I give the idea. The rest is handled.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what makes a good team.
Yeah,
like,
you got
that works. Yeah.
My follow through and hustle is her brain and muscle. You know what I'm saying?
What?
That's it. That's how we rock.
Can I get that sweatshirt?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I would have the best conversation sweatshirts. They'll be like my whole
That
wardrobe.
shit was sweet.
I was like, shit was cool when I was like 15.
Conversational sweatshirts.
That's
my ideal wear.
Look, man, y'all gonna build something beautiful. I already know. Shit.
This has been pretty good.
What's up?
This has been pretty good
This
conversation.
Nah,
really
that was a lot of emotion to come out, man. Like
pussy.
So sweet.
I own that, bro. I own that.
No, you're just assuming that's what I was thinking, so I said it.
It was funny though. It was like, yo, I'm crying, you're crying, and others was like, look at these pussies.
I didn't say that.
I know you did it.
So
I was like, can I force myself to cry?
I thought you were about to, bro.
I was like, should I?
I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at him like, oh shit, he's about to cry.
Should I try? I'm trying. Pinch your leg.
Oh,
it's okay. We'll get on the same page. Don't you worry.
Oh shit, this
He'll
was
cry
great.
harder than any of us.
Right, yo, well, Uzzle, let's
when
go.
He breaks,
man, that shit is gonna be like, oh shit.
He's gonna have
pretty emotional on here. I'm pretty sure.
He's gonna have the ugly cry too.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Anyway, thank you all for today.
Take us out, Gina.
Bye.
That shit was sweet.
That was awesome.